Lately I've been thinking a lot about the contrast between artistic and precise work, or you might call it the squiggle and the line. And I've been pondering on how when you know a technique really well, it's called skill, but when you're learning or playing or creating without a direct goal in mind, it's often called crafts. In society, there's definitely a higher value placed on the former, which makes sense. I mean, knowing how to do something really well is by definition valuable. And when you put the artistic before the technical, it may seem as if you're taking the easy route. I suppose it's harder to judge something on the artistic side, like who's to say what's good? But when it comes to precision and technique, it's more black and white. Anyway, I've been thinking about that because lately all of my life back and forth, but lately in particular, I've started to appreciate or yearn for a bit of, unruliness. A little less focus on structure and efficiency. And when I say unruliness, I suppose I mean creative freedom that's not locked within any musts or has-tos or requirements. To be just to be, to create just to create, and to break free a bit from the confines of the orderly mind. Have you ever thought or perhaps felt that way? Like you want to simply exist for a while, observe and play with what you find, do it just for the fun of it. Go more in the crafts direction. Maybe I'm thinking about all this because I've been feeling a bit lost, a bit unfocused. Now, I'm sure there are a million ways one could go about improving your current state. Interests you can take up, things you can learn. I started to look more at the plants around me lately, at the trees, at the flowers, and suddenly I wanted to be closer to that aspect of life.
Tydligen kan man äta de här blommorna. Visste du det? Att som sallad. Jag smakar inte så mycket.
Another thing I have given myself permission to do are small little things, like small projects that have been nagging me for the longest time. Things like making a very simple flower press that I can use exclusively for that, for drying flowers and leaves and thereby making it more inviting to do so. See, I've learned that if you don't set up a structure that invites you to create something, chances are you won't. If you don't have an area to preserve flowers, if it's a hassle, then you most likely will not do it. So by simply taking an hour, maybe less, and screwing some boards together, I now have an open invitation to gather plants as they spark my interests. I think a lot about existing successfully is feeling that you're able to affect the outcome of your life. Agency. It may be true and it may be an illusion. In some ways, I don't think that matters. But what does matter is feeling like you're able to control things to some degree. And there are so many things that you cannot control in this world. State of politics, other people, whether it's rainy or sunny today. But moving closer towards the natural world you live in and gathering small measures of control by observing and studying and perhaps even utilizing what you find is one way to become more attuned to what exists, to yourself. At least that's what I found. Of course, that's really true for anything. Once you learn how to do something, once you become more comfortable in the subject, once you find that skill, that's also giving you a new kind of measure of control. It's funny, I have to say that gathering herbs and flowers and creating things for yourself in many ways go in direct conflict with the modern world. Like, why would you carve a box when you can buy one? Why would you create your own hand salve, sew your own clothes? Why would you build your own furniture when it's something that you don't have to do? In fact, society has been structured in such a way for so long that it's almost discouraged. You're not going to be that good at it, at least not in the beginning. Others can do it better, faster, more precise. Pondering here, but it's the contrast between business and pleasure, isn't it? Perhaps that's what it really comes down to, is when you have too much business and not enough pleasure, your balance is off. When you're too concerned with making money, obligations, putting one foot in front of the other, then suddenly you're no longer connected to things around you. You're doing the motions. And I'm saying that as someone who likes efficiency. I like business. I like making money. Isn't it great when things are practical, when things work the way they're supposed to? So why create things yourself when it might not be the optimal way to go? Why go in the craft's direction at times? Why learn skills at all, I suppose? Well, maybe something is lost when you don't. Maybe by creating you can make something that works for you and you only, or you'll start to appreciate the way others make something, like the process, when you start to understand what's actually involved in it. It's funny, during this past year or two, or is it coming up on longer, I've gone back to things I did years ago and I've learned some new things too. Things that in many ways seem to be backwards striving. I've started fermenting vegetables, baking sourdough, making my own clothes, and I began looking at what exists in my backyard, on the meadow when we go for walks. Like, what kind of flowers are those? What kind of trees? What have people used them for in the past? And I found such pleasure and excitement in just paying attention. to gather some herbs and then taking them and utilizing them. Sometimes I think about the future and I'm both excited and a little terrified about what it might bring, because I know that the only thing that I can really be sure of is that things will be different. Everyone I know will be older, I will be older, the world won't look the same, and that's wonderful and terrible all at the same time. Will I still dry herbs? Will I still carve a spoon, build something, sew something? I don't know. I might have moved on, or I might be deeper in still. I might have developed a lot of skills that I don't have right now. Maybe this kind of craft path will take me down the skill path, and I don't know. I'm making a salve here. According to literature, the benefits of these herbs, of these flowers that I've infused here are great. Yarrow, lavender, and rose have been used through history in many interesting ways. Will they produce these great benefits for me and my family through this thing I'm making? I don't know, maybe. I mean, there's a possibility, right? And, you know, there you have something. The appeal of the mysterious nature of things. It draws us in when something isn't quite known, don't you think? Just the fact that it may contain things we don't quite understand makes it more interesting, at least to some, not everyone. Meanwhile, scientists isolate compounds in labs and create medicines that aid us when sick, and humans slowly learn more about the world in a practical, efficient way. It's a wonderful thing. It's modern progress. And here I am in my little workshop, drying herbs, melting beeswax, dyeing fabrics, making vinegar, carving like weirdly shaped little boxes, sewing another dress. And I feel like I belong to two worlds. How about you? Like one modern world that's efficient and practical, and then a second world where I sometimes escape to. I mean, truth to be told, sometimes I wish I could live permanently there, but at the same time not. Maybe that's okay. Maybe we don't have to be one thing. Maybe we can change over time and learn new things and get a little obsessed about some new interests and then kind of circle back once we've experienced them. But I do know that doing these various small acts throughout my days, kind of dipping my toes in various subjects, makes a big difference in my life. I feel connected to where I live in a way that I didn't previously. I feel connected to the clothes that I wear. I was thinking about that. When you sew one dress, it's like crafts. But if you make a jig and you make a pattern and you make 10 dresses, well, you no longer are in the crafts department, you're in the skill department, right? And will you take that leap? Will you go over to that other side, or will you stay within the sphere of making one dress at a time and then moving on to a different dress? It's funny about making things though. I mean, I value objects now in a different way. I value things that I or someone that I know have worked on far more than if I come across the same object in a store. In fact, I've started to slowly move away from things that are distant to me. Clothes that I had no hand in making, bread I didn't bake. It's almost like once you start down one path, it's really hard to look at the objects around you in the same way again. And when someone goes through the trouble, or should I say the joy, of making something themselves, where they make creative choices and they take care to make it just so, then suddenly it's like we have another layer of beauty onto whatever the thing is that wasn't there before. You appreciate it. So yeah, I think there's value in both the artistic kind of craft side of things and the skill, the precision, technique that you aim for over time. I suppose it all goes back in some ways to gaining that measure of control in some way, where you slowly become more connected to the things around you. You simply don't live in a world where everything is served to you. You peel layers away and you decide to keep some things and let some things go. And I think the very, very best for me, and I think for many people, is to take something and make it your own. And it doesn't much matter what it is. The concept is to add value to something. If anything, I think it will make someone's life richer for it. Like, to attempt to improve and understand and play with objects, it's quite magic. It's magic when you kind of step over to the other side of something and you get a result that you might not have realized ahead of time. At least that's how it is for me. Maybe it's like that for you too.